Well, I'll say this. I liked it better than Fantastic Four. Hello once again, watchers of good movies. My name is Nick Pell and this is once again coming from my apartment. Now today we're going to be talking about the film Max Steel. Now this is based on a Mattel toy, I guess. I've never heard of this thing. I don't remember seeing any trailers for this movie ever in the last 2 years. This film finished production in 2014 and has just undergone a bunch of delays apparently ever since then, and it has just now come out for whatever reason. That happened in September with Disappointment Serum and Masterminds, and now it's with this. So apparently a lot of movies are just choosing to come out after a series of delays at the end of this year, so yay me. The general idea of this film is that there's this kid who's in high school, he moves to a new town after moving around a lot throughout his life, and just randomly he realizes that he has liquid energy, essentially, or tachyon particles, I think they called it, coming out of his hand, and he can just manipulate energy in that sense. And apparently he's never been able to do this before, because he acts very surprised when it happens. Then when he seems to be just becoming full of this new source of energy, he's just going to explode. He comes across this alien creature, robot thing, which his father created or found or something, and it is able to absorb energy. His name is Max. Alien's name is Steel. Max Steel. Ben Whishaw plays Max in this movie. He does fine. I don't care. I haven't seen him in anything before. I don't think we're going to see him in a whole lot of things after this. If we do, I'll be honestly kind of surprised. Josh Brenner, he voices Steel in this movie. Honestly, I thought that Steel was the best part of this movie, just because he actually had some really funny dialogue, and I enjoyed his character. Like, once his character was introduced to this movie, that's where I was like, this thing might have actual potential, and it might actually be good to some degree. And it wasn't, but it had that level of goodness to it when Steel was introduced, because I enjoyed Steel as a character, and I thought that he could have been used way more in the movie. The special effects also look pretty good when they're actually being used. Him in the suit, this is one of the biggest issues of the film, is that while there is a suit which is used in the film when Steel and Max kind of combine forces per se, you get kind of Power Rangers-esque suit going on, and that it looks cool. The special effects look good and everything, but the suit is hardly ever used until the very end. Like, he'll get into the suit, and then like literally not even 30 seconds later he'll be hit by a blast of energy or something, and then he'll be just out of the suit suddenly, and it's just like, what's the point of this? The one thing that has going for it, which is better than Fantastic Four, is the fact that there is actually some sort of a montage of him somewhat learning how to control his abilities. Granted, he does it in about 2 hours worth of like just running around an empty abandoned building, but at least that was something compared to Fantastic. But honestly, I was calling stuff from the very opening 5 minutes of this movie. There's a character which comes in very early on, and I called it right away, villain of the film, because just kind of how these things go. And he was the villain of the film. There's also a sequence towards the beginning where we have Steel kind of being unleashed per se. He's been in a stasis of sorts for a amount of time, number of years, and he's becoming awakened because he's closer to Max suddenly, so he's starting to reawaken, and we have this whole big exciting-esque sequence going on, and it's just cutting back and forth to a dinner conversation while that's going on. I understood what they're going for, but it would have been much more effective to let that whole scene play out, and then maybe have that dinner scene maybe before or after those events, because it just seemed very, very convoluted having just this big, exciting escape scene going on, and then just like a boring dinner scene which wasn't really contributing to anything. Apparently this film is supposed to be trying to become a superhero film. It's a superhero origin story of sorts, and yet the thing which makes superhero films work, at least in my opinion, is that once we have a hero who discovers his abilities or his potential, we see him using those abilities a lot, and that's what makes you really enjoy the character. You get to see him test out stuff, you get to see him become a hero, and yet he doesn't really do that much in this film. All that he really does, for the most part with his powers, is just see liquid energy coming out of his hand, and while it looks neat enough, it doesn't do anything. It's just liquid energy pouring out of his hands, and it's just, I don't know. this was a dumb movie. So guys, Max Steel, I had hopes for this thing. I wanted it to be good. Every so often I come across a film which does not do well critically, but that I end up walking out of really, really enjoying. That did not happen with this film. It fell into the same type of trap that things which are delayed 2+ years and then come out suddenly end up being, and that's shit. So this movie is shit. Don't go check it out unless you're a huge fan of the Max Steel toy franchise, I guess. This thing is not going to make money, and it is not going to get a sequel, and so I don't think it's really worth your time whatsoever. But guys, those are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments down below. Did you like it somehow? Did you like it as much as I did? Did you hate it more than I did? Let me know. Like, share, comment, and subscribe once again if you so choose. I appreciate it immensely. And as always, my people, my name is Nick Pell, and once again, keep on watching.